First, let's talk some baseball, huh? The Mariners lost to the Marlins last night, 2-0. George Kirby gave the M's a quality start, but the bats didn't follow suit. The Mariners managed just 5 hits, all singles. Every guy in the lineup struck out except J.P. Crawford. The M's had 9 strikeouts total. You look at the stats from last night, and, you're watching the game, you think, this is a good team they're playing, though. Miami Marlins are definitely one of the hottest teams.
Yeah, absolutely. The Marlins are one of the hottest teams, but that doesn't excuse the way the Mariners have been playing. Again, you look at this, and it feels like a broken record. It feels like we've been saying the same thing all season long. You could chalk this up from game to game, and it's been the same thing. We got guys not able to get the bat on the ball. You're leaving guys on base. I mean, you look at this situation. It was a 2-0 game last night, and the Mariners left 7 guys on base. And I know for a fact that it doesn't matter what level you're playing baseball, whether it's professionally, whether it's college, amateur, little league, you playing in the backyard, you can't leave 7 guys on base and expect to win games, okay? So that's definitely not going to happen. So again, like I said, Ariel, this is something that it seems like we've been talking about every single week with the Mariners, not able to get the bat on the ball and leaving guys on base.
Yeah, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's actually the 8th time this year that they've been shut out in games. That's the 3rd worst in the major leagues. Padres lead that with 10 games. It's really something needs to give in this lineup. But yeah, leaving guys on base can't work. And how about the last at bat? You have Cole Young up there, just leaves one right outside, pretty outside. Doesn't even use his challenge. They had 2 challenges that they went to the grave with last night.
It is funny because the Rosarena used up both challenges, I think, the other day. But what do you guys think about this challenge thing? Because I think at some point, you get 2 a game and you use them up, and that's fine. I think the catchers have a lot more success with their challenges, but I think it's pretty cool. And the fact that pitch missed by so much last night at the end, I know hopes are down at that point. You're sitting there and you're like, what difference does it make? You're down 2-0, but you did have a guy on base, and there was a chance to keep the game alive.
That was the only chance to keep it alive, right? And I mean, even if you think it's borderline, it wasn't. It was about 3 inches off the plate. Even if it's borderline, and you still have 2 challenges left, and it's the last out of the 9th inning, challenge.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking, right?
Yeah. This is what I think, and I don't know where if this falls in the budget or how they do this or how they would do this, but I think major league teams ought to start hiring someone to be the guy that managed that situation. Like, my job is exclusively to watch and be like, okay, challenge this one, coach. You guys got to call this one in. Because in a situation like that, it's the difference, right? You said it was considerably outside. You left your challenges on the plate, right? You left them out there and you didn't use them. That's something that could have kept the game going. In a 2-0 game, you need every inch you can get.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like at this point, only the batter or the catcher or the pitcher can challenge their own play. But to your point, I mean, to have somebody that's a kind of a coach back there, going through film and showing guys like what they could be challenging, that's definitely where you could have somebody hired.
What do you guys think of this? Because I like the fact that they've gone to this ABS system.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're keeping everybody honest. I also like the fact that the umpires don't care. They know it's going to be challenged. They know they can't be right on every play. So there's a challenge, they step away. Those guys have a very difficult job, but I do like the fact that they all kind of understand where they are in the sport, and the fact that they introduced ABS this year is a big thing. I like it. I like the fact that both sides can challenge.
It's a huge thing, but I want to know about this from some of you guys out there who are baseball purists, and you guys too, because I'm kind of a new booty to this game, right? Like, I'm the young buck. I'm learning baseball.
Did you say new booty?
That's what they call it in the neighborhood, new booty.
They call it Miss New Booty.
Miss New Booty, but I'm Mr. New Booty on the show. But it's cool. But I know for a fact, baseball is a game about tradition, time-honored traditions. And back in the day, this would be something that was unheard of, right? We're challenging. We put a time clock on. We got all these different things. But I want to know from people out there, do you think that this is a bad thing? Has this really affected the game in a way that you don't approve of? Or in my opinion, I think it's made it better. I mean, it's more honesty to the game. Like, this is a legit foul. This is a legit ball. This is a legit strike. So some people, again, I've talked to people who have been upset about this, and this really hurts the integrity of the game in some degree, but I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think that anytime you can make the game just more palatable for anybody, that it's a win. And I'm actually even going further than that. I think that there's going to be a time very soon in the future where we don't have the robo-umps exactly, but basically balls and strikes are being called completely robotically, and you still have all four of your guys in the crew, so you still have a home plate umpire, but he's really just there kind of just to call outs at the plate.
We have now you're saying AI is going to take over baseball now?
Yeah,
You got AI. There's no ump. There's no first. There's nothing. It's just a computer. Just
all four are still going to be there, I believe. But I think that this is not far into the future.
We all agree that it's probably a good thing for the game for sure. Manager Dan Wilson has been tested this season, whether it's juggling lineups with all the injuries, managing the bullpen, or all the other things he has to work around. The first half of the season has had its fair share of challenges. Wilson talked after last night's game, and you could kind of sense his frustration.
We had a lot of chances early on in the ball game. A couple hits there in the first, kind of got some base runners on. Kind of that first through fifth inning, we had some chances. We were able to get some base runners, create the traffic that we wanted, just not able to get anybody in. And, sometimes a combination of just not being able to make solid contact, and then sometimes making solid contact and hitting it right at somebody. So, I think a frustrating night offensively for sure.
You kind of feel like Dan. He rocks back and forth there, and he's making these conversations every night. They ask him the same kind of questions. What do you think of the job that he's doing right now?
At this point, I don't know that he could really be doing a whole lot more as far as with the hitting is concerned. I mean, they have their hitting coaches. Things need to be changed there. Some of his decisions have been questioned as far as lineup, as far as pitchers, the piggyback, all of that. But I think that Dan is really doing kind of everything he can. I know there's a big contingency of people out there that have like the hashtag #FireDan, but I don't think that it has gotten that bad. First of all, and I don't really know that he can do anything with this lineup the way it is. He's constructed it in the best way that he can with the players available.
Yeah, like you said, there's only so much he can do as a manager, right? He's done a great job with this pitching staff, no matter what people have been saying, being upset about the piggyback situation, the whole rotation thing. He's done a great job. Again, if you have guys that can't put the ball into play and get guys extra bases, we have a situation where we're not getting any extra bases at all. That's a strictly player situation thing right there. What do you do other than get new players in? And that's something that we can't have any control over right now. So, again, I think Dan Wilson has done a great job so far and what he's been able to do with the cards that he's been dealt. Hopefully we just get some guys to get the bats to warm up.
Yeah, well, the trade deadline's coming up August 3rd. We'll talk a little bit about that as this show continues. George Kirby gives the Mariners another quality start, though, last night. He throws 6 innings, scatters 8 hits. He gives up only 2 runs. He also had 7 strikeouts in this game. All this against the hottest team in the majors right now. The Marlins went 20-6 in June, and in their last 17 home games, they're 15-2. Here's Dan Wilson on Kirby.
George, I thought, threw the ball extremely well tonight. I thought he and Cal worked it very well. Made some pitches when he had to. I thought the defense behind him was excellent tonight. Nick threw the ball extremely well, too. Was very efficient and really attacked in the zone. And, I thought the 2 innings that he threw, will loom very large tomorrow because, he saved a lot of the guys in our bullpen tonight. And that's a huge plus for us as we go into this 3rd game. The pitching tonight, outstanding.
Mariners' starting rotation has definitely put in some work in the first half of the season. The starters have the most innings pitched in all of baseball in the majors. Number 1 so far this season. And in seasons past, Mariners starters ranked 3rd last season, number 1 in 2024 and 23, and number 3 in innings pitched back in 2022. That's just a testament of what we've been talking about in Seattle in recent years. They have the best starting rotation, 1 through 5 in baseball. Some have a solid 3. Some teams have that solid 3, maybe a 4th, but none can say all 5. And in the Mariners' case, the way Luis Castillo has been pitching, maybe there's a 6th starter who seems to be back on his game. All that said, if the postseason started today, who would you rank as your 3 starters in a best-of-7 series for the Mariners?
And for me, I think it's easy. I think it's Logan, Bryce, and Kirby. That third one, Kirby, maybe could be switched with Emerson Hancock at this point because he's really pitched himself into that high starter rotation. But right now, Logan Gilbert is he's your most consistent pitcher out there. If you need just one good win to start off your series, you want to go with Logan to start that. Bryce Miller has been nothing but exceptional. You see that 1.73 ERA, that's incredible. And Brian Wu, obviously, he's been a little bit shaky on the road, so I wouldn't trust him necessarily. But I would go George Kirby because he has the most quality starts of he has the most quality starts of their pitchers. He's ranked about in the top 10 though in the major leagues.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think you said it all. Those are my top three as well. Again, Logan and Bryce, obviously, they're your number one guys. You look at things that Logan's able to do. That's a pure workhorse, right? He comes in and gets it done. Kirby, again, his fastball is just incredible. He has a whole arsenal of pitches that make him a tough guy to hit off of. But my guy is Bryce Miller. I love this guy. I think his ceiling is so high. I think he has control of the pitch when he's in the game. He's striking guys out left and right, and he has that swagger, man. He has not only that swagger, but that confidence when he's up at the plate. Not only that confidence, but he has that mullet thing that's hanging out in the back. And that's the thing that makes a really great pitcher for me, is the mullet thing hanging out in the back. If you come out rocking that, you're in the top three.
Plus, he's got a mustache, so really it goes perfectly.
Mustache, right? For sure.
We remember Randy's mullet from back in the day, man. So Bryce Miller's trying to bring it back, and you like that, huh?
I don't like it. I love it, man. I mean, to have the confidence to pull that off, like, I'm gonna rock this every night on Major League, on TV, on national TV.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep letting it go. Maybe by September, it's like, way out there.
And it's a little bit of jealousy. I don't know if you guys can tell, but
No,
I have a problem.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
I
never even noticed that.
You're so caring, man.
You can have a mullet if you try hard enough.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something funny. Once in a day, back in the 80s, I had a little bit of a mullet. They called it a ducktail. A little thing, a ducktail or a shag. You used to just let it hang back there, and I had one.
Little Jerry curl in the front.
I had the Jerry curl in the front, too.
I knew
it's
you
like,
did.
Almost like you were there.
I knew you did.